Charlie, thank you so much for being my guest today. A few words about you. I think I want to introduce you as the London-based artist that you are.
Thank you.
London comes back a lot in your story.
Yeah.
You were born and raised here. You studied here, Camberwell, RCA. You graduated in 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've been in a group show since. You're about to start a residency quite soon. So things have been pretty fun.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, amazing. It's obviously I graduated last year, which to be honest, it feels like a lot longer just because so much has happened since then. But yeah, it feels brilliant. I feel like I've always got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing feeling.
Yeah. You were saying that there was something about time where you're just juggling and looking for time.
Yeah.
How do you manage it?
I don't really know. It's quite hard, but I think that's why I'm looking forward to the residency coming up, because it's going to be 6 weeks of just no responsibility and just dedicated to being in the studio. Because yeah, I am always juggling, whether it's obviously my work. I mean, I have 2 jobs essentially. I work like an office job, and then at the same time I'm doing my painting, and at the same time I've got my health, and then just everything else that comes with life. So I'm always trying to find time to rest, which is really hard. And in a way I kind of thrive off it. I do like it, I do enjoy it, but I know that I need to be a bit more strict with myself when it comes to that. So I think the 6 weeks in Panama is going to be really, really good for me.
I'm excited for you. Walk me through finding a residency and how you made the decision for going to this one in particular.
So I was actually reached out to by, his name's Johnny Rue. And this is why I love Instagram, because it creates a kind of equal playing field, especially when it comes to creative industries. That's not always the way. So when it comes to Instagram, and I think COVID probably helped that even more, it just created this level playing field for everyone. And he was following my work for a while, and he then reached out to me, I think at the start of this year, and was like, I love your work, would you be interested in a residency? And I went, absolutely. And then since then, I've met with Carolina, who is the manager there, and we've had a few talks, and it just developed from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to juggle the 6 weeks with your office, your other job?
Yeah, they're very supportive.
Great.
Yeah, they are essentially my old art school, so they're very much like, they understand that this is a priority for me. Yeah, really grateful.
Yeah, so you can have this space, this time dedicated to creating.
Yeah.
How are you going to use those 6 weeks?
So there is like an itinerary, I think, that's already sort of planned, that they have sort of given. So each artist that comes, they work towards a workshop with the local community and the local children. And I've already started thinking about ideas there of what I could do and what I could bring, and what I want to achieve. And then essentially it's getting to know Panama, it's getting to know the community and the sights and the sounds and just everything about it. I mean, I've never even left Europe, so I can't even really visualize what it's going to be like. But there's a lot. But there's a lot really I want to learn and just take home with me back to London. And it ends with a show as well. So the 6 weeks, so I'll be practicing in my studio, and then at the end of that there is a show where I will show all the works. And there is an itinerary, but I couldn't tell you what it is at the minute.
And the studio you work in London is very close to where you are.
Yeah.
You have been going a lot recently, you were saying, ever since you've had your driving license. Congratulations. What's your relationship with your studio?
That's a good question. It's like, I guess it kind of ties back to juggling everything. That's my space to breathe, even if I only get like an hour on my lunch break, because I'm really busy with my office job that day. it's like, that's my space to just switch off.
Even over your lunch break, you'll be able to make it there?
Yeah. I make sure that I go whenever I can.
Oh, wow.
I have to, because like I obviously need to earn a living and I need to be able to support my practice, but I refuse to put my practice on like the back bench. I can't do that to myself, because when I left school, I went into an office job originally, and because in my head, I think going to like my background and sort of where I come from, it was always like in like quotations, like you have to get a proper job, and creative practices and they just weren't for people from my background, for example. So I did that for like 3-4 years and just absolutely hated it. And I was like, I just want to do something that will make me happy. And it was difficult. It was really difficult trying to pitch it to people as well. Obviously, like my family have been so supportive, but very scary for them.
Yeah.
Understandably. But
what is it that made them convinced by your pitch, like you say?
They just want to see me happy, was the ultimate thing. Like my dad was like, I know you tried doing something that wasn't making you happy, and I can't see you continue to do that when you want to do something else. And he made it easy, thankfully. Yeah.
That's a great dad.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a big part of your story, isn't he?
He is, yeah, massive.
And the work that you create, the process that you follow, the technique that you do with the painting, that's a nudge to him, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it started with essentially me. My first year at Camberwell, I didn't have any supplies or even any sort of knowledge on where to look, who to look to. So I went into like his toolbox from when because he used to work in construction, and I just used all his like leftover building supplies, and I would put them on the canvas and mix them with things and sort of teach myself, and it developed from there. So he was literally there from the start, even though I don't think he realises even to this day that I was using his materials.
Really?
And like, yeah.
And you were like putting his gloves on and
pretty much.
That's quite nice, because it feels quite protective probably in the way where you didn't buy things from scratch and they were all, a brand new paintbrush is odd.
Yeah.
For some reason, it feels like
I have to mess everything up, whether I want to or not. It has to sort of, and it's something that even now where I'm using, oil paints and this and that, and I can sort of buy a few more materials, I make sure to keep incorporating raw material and those sort of gritty textures that I started with, and seeing how it's developed over the last 4 years is really important to me.
Is you're messy?
Yeah.
And I'm quoting you here, as in the process perhaps, or is that your way of making sense of things? Do you think it's actually do you see it as organising your thoughts?
I would say, like, I wish I was not as messy as I am.
Why not?
Because like in every other aspect of my life, I like to be very sort of like, I like to plan things. And I think that comes from past trauma of like housing instability, for example, and not really knowing where I sit within certain places. And so I like to have that safety there.
Anchoring.
Yeah. And I think when I'm in my studio and it's a complete mess, that makes me feel quite anxious. But at the same time, that's what brings me to certain places that I need to be in. Yeah.
Do you work on many paintings at the same time?
Yeah, always. I have to have like an ongoing, like 360 conversation with myself. And I love that feeling of working on something, getting frustrated with it, kind of breaking through with it, and then turning around to work you disregarded like 2-3 months ago. And it's just spoken to you and it's given you something new. And then it just keeps going round.
And then when do you know it's finished?
I've thought about this a lot, and I feel like even when I say a work is finished, like never believe me. But I think that's important. It's that age-old question of like, when is a work finished? And obviously everyone has different opinions. But I could say a work is finished, but then I could come back to it 3 months down the line and I need to turn it around because I'm not sure about it anymore. And then sometimes I'll work on it some more. Sometimes I know it's finished, but it's never like a certainty until it's like in a gallery or something. And then I'm like, okay, now I can't touch it.
Well, a deadline as well can help.
A deadline, yeah.
And I wonder how it feels when the work is finished, or you decided for it to be finished, and then you see it in a gallery, or you see it in someone's house, or you see it in a different context than your studio. Have you ever had the feeling of it, you know, having called for it to be finished too early, or seeing it in a... Well, I mean, we actually had the experience earlier.
Yeah. I'm looking at a work.
Your own work?
My own work, yeah. And I didn't recognise it, but I like that. I think, yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen my work on a wall, on like a gallery wall, and gone, it wasn't ready. But that's my own... Yeah, it's like, well, how do I know it's not ready? And I've had people come into my studio and I know a work isn't finished at all. It's in the early stages. And then they've said, oh, this is finished. And it's just that thing of like, I've taught myself to be very like, what's the word? Lax with that. I can't say for certainty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a whole conversation you must have in your head. You were talking about the mentors you had as well at the RCA.
Yeah.
Did they help you through that sort of processing of...
Definitely. I would say...
the journey through the painting?
Yeah. It was, I mean, it wasn't even just the mentors either. It was obviously the other artists, and it was the technicians. It was anyone that came through, even visitors who were there for someone else, but then they walk through your studio and then they glance at something and carry on walking. Then I go, okay, they've looked at that in a completely different way that I would have looked at it, if that makes sense. And then every single interaction has helped me figure things out and come out of my shell and, I guess, find my voice, which I hate that saying because it sounds cheesy, but it's true.
Well, no, look, we're actually recording right now. You initially said you didn't like the voice, you know, you don't like to hear yourself.
No. No, I don't. But it's so much easier now, and especially because of the people I met at the RCA. Because you have to open up, like, it's so difficult to go into a crit every term and present a work and then have to take the criticism, take everything on board, and then talk about it without being introspective. Even for me anyway, like, even if my work is completely, you know, irrelevant to anything that I'm thinking about, something in that work is, I've made that decision because of something I felt inside or an experience I had. So I was like forced to be very open and
vulnerable, very
introspective, and eventually that just snowballed into people telling me, like, you know, we hear you and we appreciate you being so vulnerable, and knowing that people actually do want to hear it has helped for sure.
What is your work about at the moment?
At the moment, I mean, it's a continuation, I would say, the last few months where there was the shift between the seasons. So you had winter and then it's gone to spring and we're now in summer. And for me, that's always, I mean, light in general is really important in my work and to me in general. I love light. And so it's making sure that, especially in London, the moments of light that I do get of the summer nights and everything, I'm capturing them as much as I can, because it's not so much that I like the sort of summer nights and everything, but I love the tones and the comparisons between, I just love light in general, you know? So in the winter, I could have made a million paintings about the light and it wouldn't have had any difference whether it was, you know, whichever season we're in, but it's capturing the shifts that I really like, and comparing those to the shifts of sort of artificial lighting and natural lighting.
Like nuancing, because in the winter obviously there's an absence of light.
But no, there isn't.
There isn't?
No, there's light everywhere.
Okay, so artificial light as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. There's light everywhere, and I mean, even natural light in the winter, you get a few moments, and it's a very different. It's crisp, and you get different tones. It's very and I just love it. There's no specific season or month that I love in particular for light. It's just those moments and the transitions.
I always think we're so lucky to have seasons.
Yeah, we are. I've never thought about that before, actually, but you're right.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
There's a change to it.
Yeah.
And you know how I was telling you I was in Sweden for midsummer, and so the celebration of the abundance of light, and it's essentially never dark for, 3, 4, or how many days. Yeah. And it was quite disturbing. Like I think I lost my mind a little bit in between the no notion of, darkness and end of day and. But that's, I think, as drastic as it is for them. Their winters are just so long and difficult. And then it's like if they were just all resourcing, like they were recharging, they were reconnecting. Yeah. And that light really has that
That's what
power.
It does. It's electric.
It is electric.
It recharges you. And it's finding those moments of light in every space that I enter. And this is something that I've realised growing up, is I associated many, many things with light. So feelings of confusion, of upset, of happiness, joy, there was always something there that I was drawn to, whether it was, a lampshade or
the light that day.
The light that day, it sort of brushes my skin and then it disappears. It's every moment of light is so important to me.
What's your earliest memory?
Honestly, I would say it's going back to my childhood and not having my mum around, or her being very sort of sporadic and what's the word?
Passing.
Yeah, unpredictable, and then I guess that unpredictability I then started noticing in my surroundings in general, whether it was housing instability, my mum, and I started associating all those moments with changing light, whether it was a light being switched on or off, whether it was sunlight coming through and warming my home, and it was this like cold concrete, but then you'd get a moment of sun that would like brush my skin, and then it would disappear, and then I would associate that. Now I can sort of piece it together why I was so drawn to it, because I associated light with my mum and her presence and the unpredictability there. And then it spiraled into thinking about my upbringing, being working class and having that instability there, and finding pockets of light throughout those communities. Yeah.
Which communities?
So like working class communities and different spaces. So I used to go to social clubs like every other weekend with my granddad, and they were very like dim, thick black curtains and grimy carpets, but you'd get the disco ball and you'd get like some green sort of like reflection from the fire escape, and it's moments like that where to me that's so important, and it's so like it's made me who I am, and I love finding those, like capturing those moments. I love capturing those moments and bringing them to a painting. Yeah. Because they're hidden and they're overlooked and they're ignored.
It's also very difficult because light is very challenging to represent. Yeah. Because you show the effect that it has on something. Mm-hmm. Often that's what you do when it's figurative, but you're not very figurative. You do mostly abstract work. So it's almost like you're showing the prism of the light itself. Mm-hmm. But when sometimes there are blues in your work, and then there's more yellows and... Yeah. Have you ever done figurative work?
I have. And it's funny because every time I've spoken to a figurative artist, they say, oh, I wish I did abstract. And then other way around, speaks to abstract, they go, oh. So I love those that can kind of meet in the middle. But for me, I think because it's such a overwhelming feeling, it has to be very gestural when I work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my way of practicing is just constant movement and moving across the room, different canvases, and sometimes being very aggressive and flicking things and even sometimes throwing things on the floor and then letting paint drag across it. And I couldn't do that with, well, I haven't found a way to do that with figurative.
And you were saying you actually use also the canvas. You move the painting around, so you use the borders of the canvas.
Yeah.
It feels like it's all encompassing in your work.
Yeah.
You're everywhere on it.
Yeah.
You're really making it your own, and you're just putting your colours on it.
Yeah. I have to always have works surrounding me, whether it's on the walls, on the floor. I haven't put anything on the ceiling yet. But if I could, I would. It is very all-encompassing, and I get into a trance with it, and I'm tipping things. I use a lot of canvas or surfaces as palettes, and then let them sit, and then they turn into their own, and then I sort of layer onto it, and it's a process of layering and removing. It's all very physical, and I think again that speaks to starting with my dad's building supplies. Very physical, very sort of labour. And so I guess it's something that I feel like I have to do. It's something that I connect with.
And do you have a sort of tone on Instagram?
It started with me putting every picture that I liked or found on there.
Like an inspiration board?
Yeah, kind of like, I mean, I probably could have used Pinterest, but I liked Instagram. And then noticing either, okay, that shade of yellow matches with that shade of orange, or picking up on different things and sort of blurring my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
And then taking that and then taking it to a surface, which sounds really...
So you use it as a tool for, like, as part of your process?
That's like how it started. That's how I sort of figured my own style or what I wanted to achieve. And then since then, it's developed into actually showing the works and less so about a mood board.
Sure.
And I basically just use my camera roll now for my mood board.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing, actually.
I've got, there's too many photos. And I think that's probably why I started putting them on Instagram to begin with. But yeah, I feel like I can't just put 10 pictures up on there a day.
Yeah.
And people stick around.
No, I know what you mean. There's also, well, I guess Pinterest is a good one for that.
Yeah.
But there is something of seeing things that you choose and then seeing them collectively together.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a collage of what you would have naturally have leaned towards.
Yeah.
And then actually going in one layer deeper and finding something interesting within what you found already interesting.
Yeah.
And then extracting that.
Yeah.
And do you see it as sort of like a business card? Do you get, you were mentioning for this residency, you were contacted via Instagram. I know I reached out to you via Instagram. I think there's something less intimidating about Instagram where you can just react on a story. How have you experienced it as an artist?
I really enjoy it because I struggle with face-to-face, in-person, private views I can't do.
But you do them.
I do them. Thank you.
And they're successful.
Yeah, but it's this thing of I feel like at private views, for example, I feel like I can never really connect with the work, and I have to come back to the space. Whereas on Instagram, it's like, you're just behind a screen. It just makes it easier. And I can reach out to people that I wouldn't reach out to usually. And like I said earlier, there's like a level playing field. And I love that about it because it's not about who you know in that sense. Whereas in person, it kind of is when you go to these openings and these shows. Whereas on Instagram, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously you can see followers and who follows who, but it kind of is irrelevant because we're all putting the same photo up.
What have been some of the learnings that you've you've received through Brave. And I'm going to take one step back, which is you were one of the two artists in residency, I guess, during the chapter 2 of Brave. It lasted 3 months.
That's a funny story because I was reached out to, and it was like Thursday at like 3 a.m. and I got an email and I laughed and I thought, who is this person? So I looked them up and there wasn't anything really at the time. And so it was that thing of like, is this just another email of someone trying to scam me? But then I met with them on Zoom, which helps. And I got really great vibes from them. We connected, they came to my studio. It was just, I had like no concerns essentially, like incredible.
And what were some of the benefits that you got from being part of the second chapter?
So obviously the mentors, meeting with people that I would never have thought I could meet otherwise, and getting their insights and hearing even their stories of how they started and where they are now, and connecting on things that they also struggle with and still struggle with. That helps me again think, okay, it's more of a level playing field. If I allow it. So it's a lot of it's sort of self-imposed, but it's just how the art world is. And I think remembering that I'm able to conquer it at the same time really helps. And through the mentors, that has been, really amazing.
I remember meeting you actually through Brave.
Yeah.
We were actually here, and it was a great group. There was a curator, there was a collector, there was you and another artist, and we were having this incredible conversation, which for me really tied me to this this idea that confirmed when I was talking to you in particular, where you were talking about creativity and creating as a need, and you were talking about your background and explaining how it wasn't really in the cards for you, and it was you have this whole journey, but it is an innate need that you have, and that confirmed for me something that I believe in, and the idea of Brave is to support, because this raw talent that obviously has been practicing and developing and going out into the world, and it's now being more and more polished. But there are areas where there is still support that can come, I really, and this is a moment where I want to tell you that you represented this idea, which there are many ways of understanding creativity, but one of them is creativity as like a core sort of need, something that comes out of you from you essentially.
Yeah.
Is that how has Brave supported you in this phase? So graduating from the RCA, building your practice, going out in the world.
Yeah.
Sounds like pretty good timing. How have you lived it?
Yeah, I think everything you've just said is exactly what Brave has seen, and when they reached out to me and when they visited my studio and everything up until now, they saw exactly what I was trying to do and that I need to create. And that need has always been there, but I suppressed it for so long, whether it was because of confidence or financial or space, time, whatever. It just wasn't possible. And I've been able to now have that freedom. So with 3 months rent covered, I didn't have to think about it, and I could just make, and I didn't have to think about cost, which is something that I've never been able to not do.
Liberating.
Yeah. And I think it's prioritizing that need and putting like a bubble over it. So everything else that gets thrown at it, cost, time, whatever, is sort of deflected. Because that's the goal for me, is to just to be able to create and have all the time in the world and the space and not have to worry. And I know that's probably, you know, it's asking for a lot, which even though it sounds really simple, it's not. But that's the goal for me.
It sounds like your studio is the space for creating, and that's the space for self-accepting and processing, and it's a space where things come out of you that have maybe been bottled up, and almost like obviously a safe space, but a necessity in a creative way, almost like in a psychological way as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you are alone and you're looking in the mirror and you feel like, and you can sort of be yourself, or you can sort of, I guess it's that thing of looking in the mirror and accepting your body, for example. Yeah. That's how it feels for me. It's my space, and I'm allowing either people to come in or to see a photo of something on Instagram, but I have that power, and I'm either taking small steps or I make a big step or whatever. It's, that's honestly how I can sort of relate to it, is that being on your own in your bedroom and looking at your body and accepting it. That's kind of how I relate to it.
Very brave.
Yeah. And it can feel really uncomfortable when I do get people come in, even friends. It's still like, what are they going to think? They're going to hate this. I need to turn this away. I need to cover it. And it's kind of a good, I don't want to say it's an easy way, because it's not easy, but it's a way that I feel comfortable sort of making those, I guess, I'm not sure the word. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And putting them in front of people. Yeah. And them saying, I like that. Yeah. That's good.
Has the gaze of those who thought art shouldn't really be part of your life, has it changed on art? Like, do they, I don't know if it's your family, your friends, the people you grew up with, who maybe didn't have the connection that you did with art, and didn't really believe that it should be part of your life?
Yeah.
How do they relate with it today, or you as an artist?
I think we spoke about this, that they are my best critics, because they didn't grow up going to galleries or really invited into those spaces. And so they just know when they see something, they like it, or they see something, they don't like it. And to me, that is way more powerful than all the conversations. Yeah. Than all the conversations you can have and all the openings you can go to. Someone who doesn't care, but they go, I like that. That's enough for me. And that is always my family, essentially. I will show them something, I'll bring them in something, they'll go, yeah, I like that. And then that's all they have to say. And they can't tell me why they like it.
Best critique.
Yeah.
To the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Very honest, it's good.
Yeah.
And how do you take negative criticism then? Well, negative.
Not very well.
All right.
But no, I guess it's important. It is very important. And I do get it. And not just with my family, I just get it generally, positive, negative. And you need both. And I think if I didn't have the negative, then I probably wouldn't have failed and come out with something else, and then failed something, and then someone goes, I like that. And then before you know it, I've got an email from someone saying, I want to visit your studio. It's things like that I've realised actually you need to sort of not be put down, because that sounds really bad, but feel like this is the end of the world and okay, what am I even doing here? I need to go home. And then you come back the next day and then you do something completely different, and you try something new, and then people love it. And it's not about people loving it, but it's, you need to have that negative sort of feedback, I guess.
You need to be maybe a little bit sort of pushed in what you do. Because it's probably quite isolating as well.
It is, but I kind of like that. Which is really
You're
bad.
an introvert, you were mentioning.
See, I don't know. Like,
at the verge of...
I feel like I thought I was an extrovert, but I don't actually think I am anymore. But I think that's maybe because I've been put into creative spaces that I had just convinced myself that I wasn't meant to be there. And so maybe that's why I'm thinking, am I actually an introvert? Because I'm putting those barriers up when I go into those spaces. So I don't know.
How do you navigate? You were saying earlier that the art world. It's important to know people. There's a lot of connection between people. What do you tell yourself before you put a foot into a gallery space, for example? Or because I've always been struck by how natural you always are. It's like consistent. And you're very consistent in being that. And it looks natural and effortless as well. But the more I get to know you, the more I understand that there's layers to it.
Yeah.
Is it an internal battle, or have you sort of accepted? Okay.
It's an internal battle, definitely. I think I've got this kind of anger in me, maybe, where, or like if I go into a space and I think, okay, I shouldn't be, even when my work's on the wall, I go, okay, I shouldn't be here. But I think of like certain phrases that like my granddad will say, like, oh, I probably couldn't repeat on here, but like,
go on.
You can cut this out. Oh, like their shit don't smell like roses. All of this, and it's like it's like everyone
always
is the same.
goes back to that. Of course.
But it's like everyone is the same, and everyone, no matter where they're coming from, they're all thinking, okay, I've got to go into this space, and I've got to either talk to this person, or how am I gonna do this, and how am I gonna approach this person? And everyone is doing the same. And I think realizing even when my work is on the wall, I'm still getting those feelings. Clearly, that's just how it is. And so it's kind of like a game.
Yeah.
And I think finding your people as well. So with Brave, I found my people. And that it kind of forces you to go into spaces that you don't feel comfortable with. Like my tutor, Andrew Hart, is an amazing artist. He would always tell me, you have to go to openings in the nicest way possible. Like, you have to go to the private views, because I would always say, like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to talk to people. And he would say, you know, you just have to do it, and you'll leave and you'll be so grateful that you did do it. And he was right, because every time I do go, I connect with someone, or I connect with a bunch of people, and I realise that, oh, we're the same.
Yeah.
Even if we're not.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. It is a game.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing a role.
But it does help thinking of my family who don't care about art. That's who I have in my mind when I walk in, because it's like they would not be fazed by this at all. And here I am, nervous. And they feel like, why are you nervous? Like, they just don't get it. And so that helps.
Do you introduce yourself as an artist?
When? In general?
When you're around your family?
No. No. We don't really talk about it. I mean, they'll ask me how it's going.
I imagine you don't really introduce yourself at all to them, but
it's
part of. Is it something that you hide, or it's totally accepted?
I don't hide it anymore. I just think now that it's become such a big part of everything I do, it's nice to switch off from that. Even though I never want to be switched off from it, and I'm always creating, I'm always thinking in my head, but I don't always have to talk about it or explain myself when I'm with them, which is really good, and it helps.
What can we wish for you going forward?
Good question. I think stability. And I mean, I'm happy where I am now. I am happy. Like, there's nothing, obviously I like I said, would like to work towards being able to practice and not think about anything else, but that's just not how life is. But I mean more in terms of like space, cost, time. But I'm happy where I am. I've got, like I said, I love having things to look forward to, and that's how it's been for the last 4 years. And I think that's really special. And so I think just that stability and continuity with that.
Yeah. And this idea of there's Panama, the residency coming soon. We've talked about this. Creativity could, in the way I see it, is time, space, and inspiration. And so I hope that in Panama you get very inspired by the light and you bring that back with you. And
I've actually bought a camera. It's a really old camera. It's like 20 quid, but I thought that's the perfect. I can literally print the photos out and use them physically, because I used to do that sometimes. I used to print stuff and then stick it on the canvas and then come off it from there. So I want to do that again, but 6 weeks, I feel like I need to have some sort of device with me.
Yes.
It's not just my phone to capture everything.
Yeah, to research.
Because I feel like I'm going to be constantly this. Like there's going to be so much going on. So yeah.
Very exciting. Can't wait to see.
I did actually post a few like rookie pictures that I tested out the other day on my Instagram, and I went, I'm not sure if they look very good, but the lighting and that as well is very different.
Okay.
So
I'll have a look.
Yeah, they might have been taken down.
Please send them over.
I will. There's more coming. I think I've got about 500 pictures in the last 2 days, and I don't know what I've taken it of. It's just like different things, skylines, trees.
It's like you now having your driving license and you just go down the road everywhere with your new driving license.
Not at the same time.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.